Hey everyone, my name is Dominic Sewane. I'm an animator, and this is my senior thesis pitch, L'Amour Luce, a 2D 3D hybrid romance film. So everyone loves someone, from family to significant other. We all have people in our lives that bring a certain feeling of love with them when they are around. And those feelings, no matter when or where they're experienced, stay with us permanently. Therefore, I think it's only fitting. My theme is once you are touched by love, that light it brings inside you never goes away. Having this be the center of our story allows for us to explore a positive romantic feeling in a visually stimulating way that pushes the boundaries of our feelings or in general are portrayed through animation. And for the log line of this film is a playful girl who falls in love with a bright light, experiences space in a wondrous way. For this film, I want it to be a dialogueless experience, only relying on character acting and pantomime to build up this dynamic between these two main characters. As for the setting of this film, it is going to be set on a 3D low poly environment of a pink moon and the space surrounding it. Combining natural elements with low poly style allows for us to create beautiful scenery using simpler shapes so that everything is readable yet expressive. I have made an environment here, as you can clearly see, as an example to show what it would look like. Now we meet our main character, Iris. Iris is a very playful, inquisitive girl who inhabits this pink moon. I incorporated a lot of simple shapes and easy to draw proportions into Iris, as I wanted to emphasize her playful, expressive movements so that our animators can really just take off and go nuts with her. Here are all my explorations of this character, along with some of the traditional sketches I did of her, of how I want her to be constructed. And for the love interest, we have the light. I do need some talented effects animators to help me realize this, but having such a free-flowing, loose element to our film will allow for a very dynamic animation, and having a dynamic between, or a relationship between a character and an effect is a really cool idea that I have not seen done, and I would really like to express that through this film, and I'm really excited to do so. Now that you've met the characters, let's move on to the story. So we first meet Iris enjoying her surroundings on the moon with a content calmness to her, but still a curiosity inherent in her character. She's happy and she's content. As I feel as though starting off calm allows us to explode in emotion later on with light and visual effects and everything, so that we can have a grand climax. Iris proceeds to find her main love interest, the light, on her planet, and in a moment of awe, decides to approach and inquire about what it is, and comes to find a playful soul like her, a perfect match, if you will, I guess. They then take off and go on a joyride of sorts by essentially dancing through space together in perfect bliss. And as they dance, they find their love grows exponentially larger and larger into a big explosive climax. Here are some little narrative bits I've boarded out, such as the takeoff in the bottom there and the introduction to the light on the top right. In my mood board, I tried to incorporate the visual aesthetic of the film with the low poly and the 2D and the cutout character and a few color choices. But I also wanted to get the emotional grip and the impact of the film, hence the shape of water and the defined dancing. And Shape of Water in particular has played a huge role in inspiring me to make this film. So the tech I'm really excited about, because EB Synth is a program in which we can add dynamic lighting to our 2D animations without having to go in and each shade each individual frame. This allows for us to, with some tooling, put in two keyframes, and the program itself guesses the light in between. So while most 2D animations have to sacrifice style in order to flatten their animations for efficiency purposes, we don't have to do that. We can, with this simple program, just have as much lighting and as much effects as we want on these characters, and I'm super excited for that. And also with Blender's versatility, it allows for 2D, 3D, and compositing in one nice place, so that we have a nice pipeline that's just simple, easy, and all the files make sense. Here's a poster showing the markability of this film, having two characters, again, a character and an effect. I think will really draw people in and really get people hooked on watching this film. So the future is 2D and 3D hybrids with Spider-Verse and Mitchell's versus the Machines coming out soon. I'm very excited to see the future of animation as 2D and 3D work so beautifully together, and I think we can do that as well in this film here, and I'm really excited to get started on that. The low poly environments really bring out the character and let us make a beautiful space like no one's ever seen before, but yet something familiar, you know? Low poly depends a lot on nostalgia, and I think having that element to it while making it completely our own is something we amazingly can do, and I love that that's happening. With 2D character, we can have the characters do all the heavy lifting. While there will be environment animation, of course, I think it is important that our characters take front and center stage. That's why for the light, she's 2D, and for the girl, she's also the Iris, she's also 2D. And with this unique visual style and the simple yet powerful idea, I'm really excited to just make this the best it can be. So for the crew needed for this, we got one story artist, 3 3D modelers and animators, 2 2D character animators, and 2 2D effects animators, and 1 compositor. Now, I really, as I've been mentioning, the visual aspect of this film is paramount to its success. Now, with shots and story, we can definitely get that done, and we will need to get that done, and it will need to be great. But I really want to focus on the animation and just how everything looks and moves throughout the frame, because movement is such a satisfying and unique way to make your film stand out, and I'm really excited to do that. I'm so glad you guys stayed around for this, and thank you for your time. I really hope you consider voting for L'Amore Luce in this little election thing we got going here, I guess. So yeah, thank you everyone. Goodbye.